The little girl picked up a poisonous spider. She did it just to escape. The girl's name was Xiaomei. She put the spider in a glass jar and kept it. Later, she found a mantis and put it in the spider's jar. In a blink, the poisonous spider killed the big mantis. Cool. But more surprisingly, the spider without vocal cords could mimic her voice. At that time, Xiaomei didn't realize the spider's power. Later that night, something bizarre happened. While Xiaomei was sleeping, the spider started moving. It quietly rotated the jar's lid, opened it, and ran out. But it didn't hurt Xiaomei. It flew gently through the window. It went straight to Xiaomei's aunt's house. Just like that, the aunt's pet badge became the spider's meal. Since the spider was still small, it could only eat smaller prey. The next day before dawn, there was a series of pig-like screams from the aunt's room.
Sweet Jesus, what the hell happened to rats?
Yet, it seemed rats didn't have that endurance. On the other side, Xiaomei brought a lot of food for the spider. Just as she opened the bag to take out the food, a white pill fell next to the jar. Then, the spider and the jar started trembling. Xiaomei quickly took the white pill and the spider calmed down. Xiaomei then smelled the pill. Curiously, Xiaomei put the mantis pill on the spider's web, which dissolved instantly. Luckily, she quickly caught the falling jar. Xiaomei was momentarily frightened.
Wow, I love McDonald's. It's awesome.
At this time, Xiaomei was still fascinated by the spider. Later that night, the spider quietly crawled out again. This time, it followed the pipes to the neighbor's house. It crawled onto the neighbor, who was looking at a photo on the wall and crying. The neighbor's parents died in a car accident when she was 10, and now she's alone, living in a rented house with a pet skeleton. Seeing the neighbor so heartbroken, the spider decided to accompany her. She got her brain smashed and was bitten by the spider. The neighbor's face was now unrecognizable. She slowly got up and walked to the mirror. Looking at herself in the mirror, she fainted. When she woke up, she felt out of control. At this point, the spider had already crawled onto the man's face. It crawled right into his mouth and into his stomach, making movements in all directions. Elsewhere, Xiaomei noticed the poisonous spider was growing rapidly. She decided to find a bigger container for it. So, she went to the biologist Eric, who lived upstairs, to buy a bigger fish tank to keep the poisonous spider. She also told Eric about the spider mimicking sounds. Eric, intrigued by the spider, told Xiaomei that spiders don't have vocal cords and can't make sounds. Eric then proposed that he could give Xiaomei a larger fish tank for free, but the poisonous spider had to stay with him for a while for observation. Xiaomei happily agreed. However, Eric secretly informed Xiaomei's stepfather about her secretly raising a poisonous spider. He also shared his research findings that the spider was highly toxic and must be sent to health and safety authorities. Coughing and gasping. On hearing this, her stepfather was shocked. He went back and told Xiaomei that Eric had already sent the poisonous spider to the health and safety authorities. Xiaomei was instantly furious because the spider was her only emotional support. She believed her parents' divorce was due to her stepfather, so she always resented him. After a big argument with him, Xiaomei went to Eric's place. Unexpectedly, Eric hadn't sent the spider to the health and safety authorities, but kept it for himself. Under Eric's careful care, the spider grew several dozen times in just one night.
Who's next? At Eric Stewart's place.
He then broke the fish tank and ran out. Strangely, he didn't harm Xiaomei, but headed straight to her parents arguing in the living room.
Please like, subscribe, share, support Raging and the Andean column.
Just like that, both her parents died at the hands of the poisonous spider. Meanwhile, Xiaomei was completely unaware and still playing games. She only stopped when the dog wouldn't stop barking. When she came out to check, she found her parents were gone. She crawled into the ventilation duct, calling out for them, but got no response. Instead, she heard the spider's noises. Realizing what happened, Xiaomei was terrified and quickly used a cabinet to block the ventilation duct. She was trembling in fear. While she was in a state of panic, the spider crawled towards her little brother. By the time Xiaomei reacted, the spider had already taken her brother from the bed.
See you next time,
Xiaomei sat in the corner with a fruit knife, waiting for the spider to arrive. But then she came up with an idea to deal with the spider. She immediately took action. Xiaomei picked up the alum and ground it into powder, then poured it into a bottle and mixed it with water to make a solution. She filled a water gun with it. All prepared, Xiaomei climbed through the vent into Eric's house, hoping to find Eric to join her. But unexpectedly, when she reached Eric's house, she was scared by the scene before her. The house was a mess, with traces of venomous spiders everywhere. Inside the house, Eric had turned into a corpse, hanging from the ceiling. Only then did Xiaomei realize she was no match for the venomous spider, so she gathered all the alum in the house. After crushing it all, she dumped it on herself and kept some bottles for backup. As she walked out the door, she heard the screams of Jifu. Following the sound, she quickly found Jifu. She poured the alum solution on him, which instantly dissolved the spider silk on Jifu. Just as the two were about to escape, the venomous spider lunged at them. They were so scared that they slid down the pipe. The venomous spider followed closely behind. Seeing the venomous spider getting closer to Xiaomei, Jifu grabbed a bottle of alum solution and sprayed it at the spider. The spider got scared and ran away. Watching Jifu, Xiaomei realized her mistake. It was her misunderstanding of Jifu all along.
Help! I will no longer make movies in a while.
I'm never going to leave you.
Just as they were about to leave, the fire suppression system suddenly sprayed water like rainfall, drenching both of them. Xiaomei realized that the water washed away the alum on them, removing their protection. Jifu had an idea. They hid in the trash compactor, then lured the spider there. When the spider arrived, they used the compactor to crush it. Just as they ducked in, they found Little May's mother and brother. Unexpectedly, the whole family was about to meet their end here. Even if they died, at least they would be together. But just then, the brothers' crying attracted the poisonous spider, and hearing the spider approaching, Dad quickly grabbed the trash compactor switch, ready to battle.
Come listen closely. Come let me hear.
After hearing Little May's voice, the poisonous spider indeed crawled in. But when Dad was about to press the compactor switch, he found it unresponsive. Looking around, he saw the plug wasn't connected. Quickly, Dad ran to the plug, but just as the spider was about to reach, Little May blocked it with a wooden board to buy time for Dad. But tiny as she was, how could she stand up to a spider? Seeing the spider about to break through the board, Dad managed to connect the plug, but got shocked at the same time. At this moment, Little May grabbed the compactor switch and pressed it. In an instant, the big spider was crushed into pieces. Little May's mother pulled Dad out through the vent and started CPR. Meanwhile, Little May closed her eyes and silently prayed for Dad. Sorry. With the family's efforts, Dad finally woke up.